Coming up on this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
We'll take a look back at some of the recent presidents of NCBA. You'll see what life is like back home for these cattle industry volunteer leaders.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Hello and welcome to NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Ochsner. Thanks for joining us. Over the years, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association has been blessed with many great individuals who work countless hours on behalf of the beef industry. It starts at the top with the president, the person who serves a year as the key volunteer leader of the organization. Today, we're going to take a look back at some recent presidents and see what life is like back home on their own ranching operations. First, we turn back the clock to 2023 and head to South Dakota for more on Todd Wilkinson.
Although the town of De Smet, South Dakota is probably best known for Laura Ingalls Wilder, who wrote the Little House on the Prairie books, it's also home to Todd Wilkinson and his family, who together own and operate both a cow-calf and feed yard business.
My dad got us all into the ag business when we were very little. My first venture into the cattle business was actually as a 9 and 10-year-old feeding heifers through the winter, and they paid me with a heifer calf. And from that, I built the cow herd. We started our first feedlot back in the early 90s, grew it from there, and then built another feed yard and have since built another background yard. So the operation has grown. What gives me great delight is the fact that my son has grown into the cattle business, and now him and I run between 250 and 300 cows, and then run a background in a finishing facility for Wilkinson Livestock.
In addition to his years raising cattle, Todd has also practiced law for almost 4 decades.
The area that I have developed a little bit of a niche for is pretty heavy ag-oriented and estate work. I work with producers in multiple states, dealing with some things that a lot of people would recognize, like CAFO, permitting and trust and estate setups, and succession planning for farmers and ranchers. The running joke in my family is I try to make enough money on the law side so I can lose it on the cattle side. Sometimes there's more reality in that than not, but it's been a good marriage for me in terms of being able to bring assets to our operation that allow us to grow.
Over the years, Todd has been heavily involved in local, state, and national leadership roles, including serving as president of the South Dakota Cattlemen's Association. Having been a part of agriculture his entire life, Todd knew he wanted to have a voice in the beef industry's decision-making process.
If you run into me across the country, one thing that I will say time and time again is if you're going to be in the industry, don't just talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. And I have made it a commitment of mine to be very involved in trying to change the things that I feel need to be changed. And when I saw what can happen if you get both feet into it, I was committed, and I haven't looked back since. And I don't regret a minute of all the hours that I've placed into it.
Now Todd steps into his biggest role of all, president of NCBA, where he'll represent cattlemen and women all across the country.
I enjoy going into the different regions of the country, the different states, meeting new people, meeting new ideas. I'm literally taking the philosophy I'm going to put on boxing gloves, and I'm going to be swinging for the industry, because I think that the regulatory challenges that we're going to face in the next couple of years are going to be daunting. I'm anything but a pacifist. You know, if this membership wanted to elect a guy that's going to be ornery, well, they've succeeded, because that's how I'm going to approach things. And I'm going to bring the same level of passion that I bring to my involvement in this organization to trying to fight back and protect this industry from the people that want to put us out of business.
Todd will always make time to continue his work with the South Dakota Cattlemen's Foundation to put on the Primetime Gala. This annual event raises money to provide beef to food insecure families throughout the state.
And we made one stipulation on our gift of money, is that it has to be used to buy beef, and it has to go back in to feeding those that are at a food disadvantage. And it just highlights what we in this industry can do and the good that we can do if we all get behind a common theme.
It's clear Todd is committed to the beef industry, and he's excited to lead an organization like NCBA that brings together cattlemen and women to fight for common goals.
Part of the reason I'm doing this is to make sure that this industry is here for my grandchildren and their grandchildren, and that they have the opportunity to come back on this piece of ground and run cattle 100 years from now. So yeah, I'm passionate about NCBA. I won't back up an inch on my commitment to this organization, and I am committed, as long as I'm walking this earth, to be trying to make things a little bit better, and NCBA is one of those ways that I think I can do that.
Every day, NCBA staff in Denver and in Washington, D.C. work on issues that matter to cattle-producing families. You can help in the fight for our industry's future by becoming a member of NCBA. Just call 866-233-3872 or visit the website ncba.org. Be sure to use a promo code C2C for a special membership offer only for our viewers. We got plenty more to come on this edition of Cattlemen to Cattlemen, including stops in Minnesota, Kansas, and Florida. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
National Cattlemen's Beef Association would like to thank our gold partners. Their support allows us to continue being the trusted leader and definitive voice of the U.S. cattle and beef industry.
Flagging obstacles, mapping boundaries, setting AB lines. What used to take plenty of time in the tractor seat now gets done with a Gator XUV. Precision ag technology goes nimble in our redesigned utility vehicle. It's tech that's efficient, effective, and easy to implement into your operations. Get more from your Gator XUV with Bluetooth connectivity, AutoTrack ready compatibility, and Green Star ready operation. Upgrade the way you work today.
Welcome back. In 2022, Don Schiefelbein served as president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Before he began his term, the Cattlemen to Cattlemen crew visited Minnesota to learn what life was like back home for Don. Let's take a look.
The lake country of central Minnesota is where Don Schiefelbein grew up, working alongside his dad, mom, and 8 brothers. Founded in 1955 by Don's dad, Frank, the Schiefelbein family farm has grown dramatically.
Well, it's a family operation consisting of 7 brothers, 5 nephews, and all their wives, etc. So it's a large family operation. Sitting here in central Minnesota, we have about 6,000 acres. We run about 1,000 cows in the spring and another 100 or so in the fall, so 1,100 cows. And we feed out cattle here, so we're pretty diversified. We'll feed out 5,000 to 10,000 calves here on the place as well.
Don gives credit to his parents for the success of their family operation, and he believes his dad's innovative thinking was one of the keys.
Simple things like how to feed cattle. He said, boy, wouldn't it be a lot smarter and wiser, instead of having the bunks on the inside of the pens, to have bunk line fences on the outside. So in 1950 he said, I'm going to put bunks on the outside. He is one of the very first up here in the Midwest to have bunks on the outside of the feedlot. And so that made a world of sense. And everything he's done, I think, has transferred to me and to my children as well, saying, boy, if there's a better way to do it, let's look at it. Let's not be confined to the way things have always been done.
As a result of their effort to always get better, Schiefelbein Angus bulls and females are prized in the marketplace. And the family has continued to offer value to their customers with a calf buyback program that was started more than 25 years ago.
So every decision we make here, we either gain or fail ourselves as the result of the mating on the cattle we buy back. And if we make a mistake breeding an animal, we're ultimately the ones that pay. So we're paying a lot more attention to making sure they're bred right. So from a commercial cow-calf standpoint, you can imagine the sigh of relief they have knowing that the genetics they're buying are being kind of backed up by somebody with real dollars and cents saying, these cattle have to work or we ultimately have to pay.
After college, Don worked for Texas A&M Extension and then for the Limousine and Gelbvieh Breed Association before returning to the family operation in 2003. Since then, he served in a variety of leadership roles with the Minnesota Cattlemen as well as for the Angus Association and as an officer for NCBA.
If you are going to be successful, your industry must be successful first. So if you aren't willing to put the time and effort into making that industry successful and serving that industry, then it's basically going to be a potluck whether or not your industry survives. So we've been very fortunate that we've had enough people that we can put efforts towards involving people in lots of different areas. And mine happens to be Angus and NCBA. I like to tell people I'm the blue-collar NCBA guy. I'm the guy who still gets his hands dirty, still drives the tractors. So that's kind of the background I come from. And what I believe, and I come from more of a servant-style leadership, where I really believe that if you listen closely enough to members, you're going to find the answers. So running a family operation our size is very similar, I believe, in that you listen a lot, you make sure everybody has their say, but you make sure everybody does it in a respectful manner so that we can all move forward together.
As he looks to his year as NCBA president, Don is serious about helping to lead NCBA's fight for policies and a business climate that supports cattle-producing families. It's all part of maintaining the opportunity to make a living on the land.
To me, I just sit in awe at how many people have the opportunity to do something they love to do and would love to do every day and do it with their family by their side. There's just not many places in this world that give you that opportunity. And you do it in the United States of America where you have the most freedom, and boy, there's days that you just look up and say, God, why me? Why did I get blessed with this? And it truly is a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Still to come on Cattlemen and Cattlemen, we'll take a trip to Kansas and visit with 2021 President Jerry Bone. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you concerned about the impact government policies could have on your cattle business? One way to make your voice heard in Washington is by joining NCBA. When you join, you'll be part of the nation's oldest and largest national cattle industry organization that has a professional team working in Washington, D.C. on issues that matter to cattle-producing families nationwide. Don't stay on the sidelines. Make your voice heard by joining NCBA today at the website ncba.org.
CattleCon 2026 heads to the heart of Nashville, February 3rd to the 5th. Music City is the place to be for the largest cattle industry event of the year, offering education, networking, and fun. Plus, you can check out the huge NCBA trade show, outstanding entertainment, and more. Go where the beef industry meets. CattleCon 2026 in Music City, downtown Nashville, February 3rd to the 5th. Visit convention.ncba.org for more.
Welcome back as we continue our look back at a few of the past presidents of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Now, let's head to Kansas and learn more about 2021 President Jerry Bone.
Pratt Feeders in central Kansas is a place and a business Jerry Bone knows well. A Kansas native, Jerry started his career as an assistant feed yard manager and then moved to Colorado to work with Cattlefax for 7 years before moving back to manage this feed yard.
Came here in 1982, August of 1982, and as a feed yard manager. When I got here, we had about 15,000 cattle on feed, and over the years, we were able to grow this facility to where it holds about 40,000 today. And then in 1989, we bought Ashland Feeders at Ashland, Kansas. In 1995, we bought Buffalo Feeders, Buffalo, Oklahoma. We currently have the 3 main feed yards with a total capacity of about 85 to 90,000 head. The focus here at Pratt Feeders for the most part has been to be a custom feed yard where we feed cattle for other people. Today, about 75 to 80% of the cattle on feed here are owned by rancher customers from various states around the country, and we focus really hard on being customer oriented. We've gone to an individual animal management system where every animal is managed to its ideal endpoint, and I think customers benefit from that, and profitability is improved because of that process.
While the cattle are impressive, the feed yard facility itself is too. It's unique because it was built on the site of a decommissioned World War II Army airfield.
During the war, the government built this air base, and the B-29 crews were trained here before they went overseas to the war. And right where I'm standing right now is the middle of one of the runways. This one's about 1.5 miles long from the east, or from the west to the east, and we have cattle alleys on both sides of this runway, and it's worked out quite well for our operation.
Though Jerry is retired from day-to-day management here, he is a part owner of Pratt Feeders and remains on the board. He owns cattle and continues to manage farm ground the company operates. He's proud of how Pratt Feeders has grown and even more proud of how the beef industry has improved over the years.
I think the industry's done a very fantastic job of genetic improvement. When I started my career here, if we had a 50 or 55% choice in prime grade, we were really excited about it. Today, the industry's averaging on top of 80% choice. Carcass weights have probably gone from 600 to 700 pound average to more like 800 to 900 or maybe even 1,000 pound average.
A past president of the Kansas Livestock Association, Jerry has served in a variety of NCBA leadership roles. And as he takes the reins as the 2021 president of NCBA, he sees both challenges and opportunities for the beef cattle industry. Building unity is a priority for Jerry, who wants to see state cattle organizations and NCBA pull together to create more opportunity for producers in all sectors of the American beef cattle business.
The state associations in the beef industry are, obviously they're a very important partner to NCBA, but that's where the rubber meets the road. They're the ones that are in contact with the individual cattlemen on a daily basis. And it's important to NCBA that we develop a very strong, positive relationship with every state affiliate, and I know that's one of the goals that we have going forward is looking at those relationships and how we can forge an even stronger bond between the state and national organizations as we work to protect the industry from government regulation, as we grow our positive impact on the environment. NCBA is working on a daily basis for the benefit of every member, and in fact we're working on the benefit for those who have chosen not to join us too. And so as we talk about membership, first of all, being a member of NCBA is important. Without that membership, we can't do the work that we do. The local member is vastly important to us, and so we spend a lot of time working to help them be profitable and successful, and in turn, if they do that, we're going to be successful as a national organization. I am very excited to have the opportunity to be the president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. I consider it kind of a crowning event for my career in the business.
Want to rewatch an episode of Cattlemen to Cattlemen or catch up on anything you've missed? Then visit our YouTube page. You'll find replays of all our shows filled with educational segments and producer profiles from all around the country. So check us out at youtube.com/Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Still to come, we'll get a closer look at a day in the life of former NCBA President Marty Smith. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Did you know you can get reimbursed for attending cattle industry educational events? The Rancher Resilience Grant helps cattle producers attend valuable programs such as Cattlemen's College and Stockmanship and Stewardship training sessions. Local, state, and national events qualify, and you can get money back to help cover registration fees and hotel costs. To apply for the Rancher Resilience Grant, go to the website ncba.org and click on the Education and Resources tab.
Welcome back. Today, we're bringing you a closer look at what life is like back home for some of the recent presidents of NCBA. Now, let's take a trip back in time to 2020 and learn more about that year's president from Florida, Marty Smith.
Raising cattle in Florida is just a little different. For example, at times, Marty Smith can be found on an airboat checking an area that will, in dry periods, provide grazing for his cows.
We are on Levy Lake, which is more of a marsh than it is a lake. It's several thousand acres in here of historic marshland. In drought times, this will go down, will be somewhat dry out here. And when it dries out, it's got marsh grass, which is, and what is the management? The management is stay out of the cow's way. They figure it out and they know how to utilize this, and we open the gate and they're gonna come here because they know what's out here. And so you'll see them wading out here into the water sometime to eat the marsh grass. And we certainly think that as long as we can continue to run cattle here and utilize this, enjoy it, keep it the way that we do, take care of the water, take care of the resources, take care of the wildlife, which we take as part of our charge here and part of our role, that's a whole lot better than having a housing development.
In spite of intense development pressure in Florida, the Smith Brothers is a family ranch with a long history. A one-room church hand-built by Marty's great-grandfather in 1852 is still in use on the property, and the cattle herd is still here as well.
My family's operation here dates back to around 1850. So we say 170 years now of being in the cattle business in the state of Florida. My family originally settled here from South Carolina. What we're looking at here today is Brangus and Brayford cattle for the most part. Historically, the Brahman cross cattle is what perform here. They're able to tolerate the heat. Our grass quality here is not what it would be really in any other part of the country. This is poor quality grass. We do have the ability though, because of, and we're standing here today in early January and the temperature's in the 70s and grass is growing today. So this is, we're unique in that regard. We can grow a lot of low quality forage, but we have to have an animal that's going to be able to convert low quality forage and make beef out of it.
With the help of his family and his crew, Marty leads the effort to manage the cattle, control brush, and maintain water quality and wildlife habitat. In addition, as a past president of the Florida Cattlemen's Association, Marty works to bring the cattle community together at his ranch, hosting friends, family, and those involved in the cattle business.
When we go and we sit down around, as we talk it, around the fire, nothing is off limits. Every opinion counts. Everything can be discussed. There's no, we can't talk about that. I want NCBA to operate that way. It's that team building that grows out of that, of being able to frankly discuss issues, problems, challenges, try to come to some unity, but joint decisions. And I invite people to come be part of that with me. I think really what I try to bring is this team building.
Building unity and service to the beef industry has become a Smith family tradition. Joanne Smith was the first female president of the National Cattlemen's Association back in 1985. Now, Marty takes the reins of NCBA with a view that the future is full of opportunities.
We have got to do a lot as an organization, as an industry, to get that message out about what a great thing we're doing environmentally, what a great sustainable industry we are, but that future is ahead of us. And I think what we do here today, what we do as a group is what's going to make the difference. not just for ourselves, but more importantly for all the future generations that follow.
Whether he's checking on cows, hosting a steak fry, or leading a board meeting, Marty Smith is all in on the U.S. beef cattle industry. And he's committed to working through NCBA to preserve and protect the future for cattle operations like the one his family has called home for 5 generations.
It's kind of hard to beat this now, isn't it? We're standing here in January and it's like I say, it's somewhere between 70 and 80 degrees. The sun's out, grass is growing, calves are dropping. My family's been here with me, they'll be with me tonight, and there isn't anything quite as much fun. Being out in your cow pasture with your family, your friends, that's what this is about. And this is what, again, we're going to bring that same atmosphere to NCBA too, so come join, be part of it.
Well, that's our time for this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next week right here on RFD TV.